Leeton is a town of around 11,000 people in the Western Riverina region of New South Wales. Leeton is in the middle of the Murrumbidgee irrigation area with a system of canals and channels supporting a large agricultural industry. A majority of residents are employed in agricultural and manufacturing roles, approximately 25%, compared to around 1% working in arts and leisure industries. The highway that runs through Leeton on the way to Griffith becomes the main street, the section contained by Currajong and Pine Avenues. Leeton is not unique among small to medium towns in our region. It has a healthy economy and an engaged community, but the main street, Pine Avenue through Currajong Avenue, is still dotted with these vacant and unused shop fronts. Vacant space is indicative of a broader challenge to retail, the changing ways people shop and purchase goods in an online world. In many cases, empty shops do not mean a township is dying, but simply that there's a change in economic activity, transport arrangements, or the spread of housing. In the Riverina, there has also been a long-term ebb and flow of retail activity based on agriculture, sustained drought having a large impact on spending. There have, of course, been various responses to the more general changing face of retail across the country, many involving utilising vacant infrastructure, such as the noted Renew projects. In Leeton, we feel that our main aim has been to recreate the old sense of the centre of town being a community hub, a place where people gather and meet. Many of the property owners are not local and are not overly interested in discussing short-term uses for the spaces. In 2010, there was a working party formed to tackle the idea of a united, regional approach to raising the profile of the arts in the Western Riverina. Representatives from the community, Leeton Council and surrounding councils came together to lobby for the formation of an arts board. The aim wasn't to simply use vacant spaces for exhibitions, but after the eventual formation of the Western Riverina Arts Board, there came the first stirrings of this type of activity. Prominent, easily accessible vacant spaces utilised for community-initiated arts activities. The first step was making use of an existing supper room at the iconic Roxy Theatre. This was a small initiative that simply involved mounting some tracking in the room, but the result was immediate. Leeton has no permanent art gallery, and now it has an artist-run space available. During 2013 alone, 10 local individuals and groups made use of the space for exhibitions of various kinds, and over 1,000 visitors walked through the space. The space has featured traditional visual art exhibitions, interactive electronic presentations, collaborative process-driven works, and more. There's been a definite feel in the community that this first opening of space has kick-started activity. Artists now feel they have options when it comes to publicly exploring new work. The major group for visual arts activity in Leeton for many years has been the Leeton Arts Society. They are a small group that meets evenings when working lives permit. They organise group painting sessions and sometimes group exhibitions. Paniz was, until just a few years ago, the president and driving force behind the Art Society's activities. After she passed away, there was some sense that the Art Society's activities might drop off. But instead, what has followed was a partnership project designed to combat this potential slide into inactivity. The Paniz Prize was developed to honour the memory of a prominent community member, but also to provide focus for the activities of the Leeton Art Society. It is often the case in regional communities that small societies are run by a committed group, but can also become reliant on the energy and commitment of a key individual. Sustainability is an issue. At this time, the Leeton Art Society also lost access to their regular venue for painting and workshops, the building ruled structurally unsound. This was a point where it was a real danger that members might see running a society as too much effort with little return. And yet things were turned around. Leeton Council contributed money for the major Acquisitive Art Prize, and Western Riverina Arts contributed money towards the Open Prize. But all three groups contributed to the project collaboratively with ideas and hours. The venue Council obtained for the inaugural Paniz Art Prize, the old State Bank building on the main street, was initially problematic. With its big open floors, window-lined walls and cubicle areas, the area to actually hang visual works was minimal. This is where a small project from Western Riverina Arts was able to add value to the Paniz Prize. The pop-up gallery hanging system was built using funds from a small grant of under $2,000, but it had never before been used. The system is a unique series of heavy industrial poles with tracking and lighting that can, when installed, turn an empty interior into a functional gallery space with no impact on the building. When installed, the system created high and functional hanging space, but also allowed the partitioning of the large venue. The inaugural event was the most well-attended and supported arts event in Leeton for that year. There were 30 entrants and over 650 people went through the exhibit over the weekend. Even more pleasing was the fact that these numbers have doubled in both categories for the event that was held just recently, the 2014 prize. Giving creative people access to roles within the community can and does reinvigorate that community. The visible expression of region's creativity can recreate the vibrancy of a city hub. It can add an extra dimension to a region's character, potentially invigorating tourism. In the long term, there is great potential for the generation of new industries, creative industries featuring the work of local craftspeople and artists, replacing what was once a predominantly trade-based retail sector. The gradual activation of vacant spaces in Leeton, culminating in the focal event of the Paniz Prize, has led to a heightened awareness of the skills of local artists and an unprecedented level of community support for arts developments in the town. Although it is not necessarily the ultimate outcome of this project, at the same time as the Paniz Prize was being run, more permanent work has been going on at the once derelict CWA building. By the end of 2014, Leeton will have a purpose-specific arts hub and will, for the first time, have permanent gallery and workshop space in the centre of town. The supportive climate for this type of council development would never have existed without the partnerships brought to fruition with such projects as the Penny Paniz Prize, and without the obvious, visible results the community have seen come from activating a large vacant space such as the old State Bank building.